So let's get right into it. For a while now, I think we've all been kind of obsessed with prompt engineering, right? This idea that mastering AI is all about learning how to ask the perfect question. But it turns out, as these AI systems get way more complex, just asking is a really small part of the whole equation. The real secret to building smart, reliable AI is shifting our focus from just writing instructions to, well, to architecting the entire world the AI lives and breathes in.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. When a major voice in the AI world like Andrej Karpathy says something like this, you know it's not just a small comment. It's a signal of a massive shift in how the pros are thinking about building with AI. He's pointing us toward a much bigger and, honestly, a much more powerful idea.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with that magic trick of prompting that we all know. Then we'll look at where that magic starts to fizzle out. We'll bring in context engineering as the solution, put it head-to-head with prompting, see how it actually powers smart AI agents, and then wrap up by looking at what this all means for you and the future of AI.
All right, let's start at the beginning because you have to. Prompt engineering was that first huge, revolutionary step. It was the skill that unlocked those initial, jaw-on-the-floor moments with large language models for pretty much all of us.
At its core, prompt engineering is really the craft of getting your phrasing just right. It's all that tweaking, that back and forth, refining your words and structure within a single chat to try and steer the AI toward that perfect answer you're looking for.
And for a little while there, it really did feel like magic, didn't it? Learning the secret handshake, you are an expert marketer, write me a blog post in the style of X. It felt like you'd learned this secret spell to get exactly what you wanted. But as we found out, that magic has its limits.
And that brings us right here. The big problem is, when you try to scale up from just asking simple questions to building complex, multi-step AI agents for actual, real-world projects, that's when the magic trick starts to fall apart. A really clever prompt just isn't enough to carry all that weight.
This number, 40%. This represents a huge and honestly often overlooked wall that people hit when developing with AI. Let me show you what I mean.
So here it is. This is the kicker. Nearly half of all AI projects that go off the rails don't fail because the model is bad or the prompt wasn't clever enough. They fail because the AI is basically operating with blinders on. It's like asking a brilliant new employee to write a complex financial report, but not giving them access to any past reports, any company data, or even a calculator. You've set them up to fail. That's a context failure.
This quote about the supercar just nails it. You can have the most powerful, tricked-out AI model in the world, a true supercar. But if you force it to drive on a terrible, bumpy road, which is your bad information environment, it's going to crash. The prompt might be giving it perfect driving directions, but it can't fix the road itself.
And this is exactly where this new discipline comes into play. If prompts are the driving directions, then context engineering is the job of actually designing and building the entire road network, that superhighway that lets the AI really open up and drive at its full potential.
So let's define this thing clearly. Context engineering isn't about writing one perfect prompt. It's about designing the entire system that feeds the AI the right information at the right time. It's about building the model's working memory from scratch for every single task it performs.
I absolutely love this analogy. It makes so much sense. If you just give a chef a recipe, that's your prompt. They might make an okay dish. But if you first make sure they have all the best, freshest ingredients, all perfectly prepped and laid out, the memory, the data, the tools, then they can reliably create something amazing every single time. That prep work, that is context engineering.
All right, time for the main event. Let's put these two ideas head to head. Really understanding the difference here is, I think, the key to building AI that actually works in the real world.
So, at a high level, the difference is all about your focus and your scope. Prompt engineering is about writing. The question you're asking is, what do I say to the model? And it's all about that single interaction. Context engineering is about architecture. The question totally changes to, what does the model need to know right now? And the scope blows up to cover the entire workflow.
Now, if we dig a little deeper, the practical differences become super clear. With prompting, you're chasing one great output. With context engineering, you need reliable, consistent performance, over and over. Your effort shifts from just playing with words to actually building real software and data pipelines. It's literally the difference between making a cool demo and building a production-ready system.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like when you're building something? Well, context engineering is the engine that's making modern, autonomous AI agents possible. The systems that can handle complex, multi-step jobs all by themselves.
Now, I know this diagram might look a little intimidating, but just stick with me. The core idea is actually pretty simple. Think of this as a smart, continuous loop for managing what an AI agent knows. The system is always grabbing relevant info, feeding it to the AI to make a decision, and then, this is the important part, it learns from the results to do a better job next time. It's a constant feedback cycle.
We can boil that whole complex thing down to 3 key steps. First, the system constructs the context. It goes out and grabs all the relevant data it needs. Second, it updates the model by loading all that good stuff into its limited context window, which is just its short-term memory. And finally, it evaluates what the AI did. Did it work? Great. It then updates its long-term memory so it gets smarter for the future. It's just this constant loop of prepare, act, and learn.
So what are these ingredients we keep talking about? Well, it's a mix of things. You have your core system instructions, the user's latest message, the recent chat history, and any relevant documents it pulls from a knowledge base. That's a technique you might have heard of called RAG. We also give it tools, which are kind of like superpowers. The context engineer's job is to be the master chef who assembles the perfect plate of these ingredients for every single task.
And that brings us to the future. The big takeaway here is that context engineering isn't just another buzzword or another tool in the toolbox. It's a really fundamental shift in how we build with AI and what our job is in that whole process.
If you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this slide right here. Prompt engineering isn't going away, not at all, but we're finally understanding its proper place. It's a piece of the larger context engineering puzzle. It's the art of arranging the food on the plate, but context engineering is the job of designing the whole kitchen and stocking the pantry.
What this really means is that for anyone building with AI, our jobs are changing. We're moving on from just being clever wordsmiths and becoming true architects of information environments. We're the ones designing the spaces where AI can actually do its best work.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. As AI continues to become less of a tool and more of a collaborator, a true coworker, our most important job isn't going to be just telling it what to do. It's going to be thoughtfully and carefully designing its entire world so that it has everything it needs to succeed